Video we will look at the problem we described in the last video and also go over two more problems to see how you can use strings in real life. So let's go over the problem described in the last video. So it says given a string S, return a string made of the first two and the last two characters of the original string so that string yields spng. However, if string is of length less than 2, it returns the empty string. So let's try this out. So I will define a string, say spring. Okay, now I have to get a string which is made up of first two and last two characters. So first two characters of this, how can I get? Very simple, string 0 2, right? 2 does not include the 2, it's just 0 and 1. Similarly, last two, how can I get? String -2 to end. We saw this in the last video, right? Now final string, I define another variable. How can I get? Is the first string plus last two, right? This is fine, but there is a condition. However, if the string length is less than 2, return an empty string. Now this will not work if the string length is less than 2, right? Because remember we saw that a of 100 gave error because there is not that many index. So I have to add one condition. If I need to get the length is less than 2, then final string is equal to empty string. Okay, then else, this will come in else. And finally I will print the final string. Now a lot of first see if it's working, right? It's working, right? So now let's see a lot of things for you to unpack here. One is if else. I think last time also explained, if then a conditional comes and then your whatever statement. Else, if this statement is not true, then it will go to else and it will execute these statements. Okay, now one thing is the indentation part here. So remember, so you can notice that I am adding an indent here, right? So if I don't add an indent, what happens? It gives an error saying indentation error. So indentation is very important in Python. There are no brackets to convey that this code is inside if. Only the indent work here. So indent is working. Also another thing you can use for indent is tabs. I use tabs, or you can use spaces, but never sort of combine the two. Like here I have used tabs in one and spaces in the other. You can see the small dots, right? So if I do this, what happens? There's another error, says tab error, inconsistent use of tabs and spaces. So always you have to use the consistent. Either you want to use spaces, you use space, or you use tab, but don't mix. So I generally use tab because they are faster, but people can use, and most people use, two spaces for indentation. So very important in Python, this concept of indentation. But yeah, we saw here how you can simply use if and else and solve this problem. And also you broke the problem into smaller steps, and step by step you wrote each line and you got the solution. Now let's look at another problem to see the application of string. Fix start, it's called. Given a string s, return string where all occurrences of the first character have been changed to star, except do not change the first character itself. Example, babble goes to ba star le. Assume that the string is length 1 or more. Hint s replaced stra, strb returns a version of string. So the question is, so first we have to understand the question very well. So it says if a string is like babble, it should become, so you have to replace the occurrence of the first character, subsequent occurrence. So this is the first character b. Whenever it occurs again in this string, you have to replace it by star, right? Another example, if I take say goggle, so what Google, or what will it become? It will become GG star LE, right? So first character is G. I have to replace in the rest of the string. I don't have to do this. I have to replace in the rest of the string the occurrence of the first character with star. So let's see how what steps can be right. So first we define a string. It's a babble only. Let's get the first character of this string. Very important, very simple. How can I get string of 0? Remaining characters, how can I get string of 1 to end, right? Or so another one hint was given was use replace. So replace is a method which replaces uh, the string, some character of the string with another character. So I can say replace string is equal to which one I have to replace? I have to replace this part, right? I don't have to replace the whole part, I have to replace this part, right? So this I got by remaining char. So this dot replace, what do I have to replace? First char, and by what? I have to replace by star, right? And my final string will be what? First char plus the replace string, right? And I can print it. So now let's print it. Yeah, this is the answer. This SPP is above. So I can comment. Also comment is very simple. If you put a hash in front of any Python code, it will be commented, it will not be run. So we use comments for notes or certain information we want to share, right? And about this editor, last time also I told you, this is Sublime. You can go and install the build for Python in it, so that you can run Python here only. Okay, anyway, so here what we did was we broke the problem into many steps. We first said this is our string, the first character, this is the remaining character. Why we needed first character? Because first character is something we wanted to replace. This we needed because this is what we had to replace in, we didn't have to replace in the string. And then we use the replace function which says this string what you have to replace and with what, right, with star. And then again we joined back because we wanted the final string, right? You can check with other, like Google, I'll check, right? It gives what we intend, right? Bubble, let me check. Bubble, does it work? Yeah. So this is how you can divide into or step by step you can give sort of instruction and expression so that you can solve the problem. Also very important is to understand the problem first. Let's see the third problem. For your benefit, I will not be explaining it, but I'll explain the problem. Mix up given strings a and b, return a single string separated uh, with a and b separated by a space. Swap the first characters, right? So like very simple, you have two strings, you have to swap the first two characters, right? So the first two characters of uh, dog and dinner you have to, so it will become dig and donor. So di goes here and do comes here, and this becomes one sort of string. So you try it, right? Another example is this mix and pod, right? So the first two characters of mix, mi go here, so this become mid, and po come here, so pox, mid pox. But this is just one string, these are two strings, right? So try it out. It also will need this kind of some manipulation, but it will help you understand that how strings work in Python. Okay. Okay, any comments, please let me know.